Boa tarde a todos. So first of all, is there someone who's not comfortable with Portuguese? No, everyone's comfortable with Portuguese. Okay? More or less. Tem alguém que não está confortável com o inglês? Okay, so with inclusion in mind, we're going to do the presentation in English, okay? So some disclaimers first. I did not train this presentation in English, so it's going to be some kind of a ride, okay? So bear with me. I'm a little nervous, so there will be a lot of filler words, stuttering. Just be gentle with me, okay? So my name is Felipe Ferreira, and I'm from Setups, and I'll be presenting Drupal and the Digital Humanities, okay? By the way, the slides are also in Portuguese, but I'll be translating them. So this is our agenda for today. I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction about myself and about Setups, and then I'm going to do a parallel between those two to explain the Digital Humanities, and then we'll do some explaining about the Digital Humanities itself to create a greater context for the presentation. Then we're going to explain why we use Drupal on Setups. We're going to explain a little bit as well about the experience of development and the training of new users. And then I'm going to talk about some points of interest of Setups as a research center. And then I'll give a last example about the digital blog as well. The blog of the Digital Lab, this was something that we developed. So the introduction, who am I? Well, I already said I'm Felipe Ferreira. This is my beautiful picture up there. I am Brazilian. I don't know if you can notice by the English, but well, I've been living in Porto for 3 years now. I come here for studying computer engineering and informatics at University. And I'm also a researcher in Setups that I'll be explaining later what it is. And I am passionate about technology. So what is Setups? Setups is the Center for English Translations and Anglo-Portuguese Studies. It is a research center, and it has 61 integrated members, more than 120 collaborators. The majority of them are junior researchers doing doctorates and postdoctorates. I'm one of them, not doing the doctorates, obviously, but you got the point. It has 6 areas of research. Some of them have some intricate names, but as I can think of from the top of my head, mapping utopianisms, culture and history of Anglophone travelers, Anglophones. Okay, I do not remember the exact translation. And we have Anglo studies as well, culture and Anglo studies. So some of them are more difficult to translate from the top of my head, but okay. So as you might have thought already, as you might have gotten the question in your heads, what is a computer engineering student doing in a Center for English Translation and Portuguese Studies? Well, let's do a little bit of a comparison here as well, okay? So me, what can I bring to the table in this context? I know a little bit of databases. That's a knowledge that I have. I know a little bit of data analysis, and I have some knowledge in web development. That's cool, that's all right. Let's see what Setups has to offer for me as a researcher there. We have history and culture, which is nice, it's important, but it's not my field of work. We have literature, which is not much my field of work as well. And we have translations, which could be, I have uneasiness talking English, but It's not something that I would work as well in translations. So we think of those areas as very separate circles, right? Those are things that we don't usually think together, but with a little bit of induction and visual cue here, I could bring you to a Venn diagram, right? So the intersection between technology and literature is where the digital humanities come in. And I have not lied, I'm a researcher in setups, but specifically, I'm a researcher in the Digital Lab. The Digital Lab is a platform for the digital humanities. It has been around since 2017, and there we work in this kind of thing that we put together technology and literature, the digital and the humanities. So what are the digital humanities? In that sense, we've already kind of defined. It's the intersection between the technologies and the humanities. So it's the application of technology, computer-based technology in the humanities. So it's the humanities exerting a critical look in the digital. And it's important to reinforce here that the digital humanities are a field by itself. So we can kind of see the distinction between the digital and the digital humanities, right? The digital is a completely different field, but sometimes it is difficult to find the difference between the humanities and digital humanities, but they are completely different fields simply because we ask different questions in the digital humanities. So what do I mean when I say different questions? It's better to me to exemplify with to tell you with an example. So exemplifying that, we have ARUS. ARUS is acronym to Advanced Research in Utopian Studies. It's a database that it's built for critical bibliography in utopias, and it's a database built by American studying called Lehman Tower Sargent. Sorry about the name. And it's a database built with more than 20,000 entries, and it has been updated until today. It's been growing until today with the help of other researchers. So what does this have to do? Okay. So recently we've made a study in feminist utopias within this database. And I'm not going to go too deep in this study. I've participated in this study as well. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the main thing is we can ask questions and get data. Like, for example, this graph, there is the amount of titles, amount of works per year. And this other graph is the amount of words in those titles, So what does this have to do with what I was talking? The digital humanities can ask, that's what I was saying about the digital humanities asking different questions. So we can ask questions about databases, data, doing distance reading that is also analyzing a full book just by computer. Those are some amazing things. And what does Drupal have to do with it? Well, here I'm going to talk a little bit about Drupal and make a comparison with WordPress. That it was something that we used on setups before, but we chose Drupal mainly because we needed to publicize and show those works that we did in a way that it was accessible to the user. So the main reason was to expose those projects, and we chose Drupal as a little bit about a countercurrent bet. So at the time, I think all of the websites in the Digital Lab and the majority of the websites from Floop was built using WordPress. So we did a little bet in Drupal. We wanted to learn about the tool, and this came as well in a time where we had some concerns about security because we had some data breaches and situations that I'm not gonna get into too deep into it, but we had some situations. So we wanted to restore the confidence that our researchers had in posting news, posting their projects in the website. So we ended up choosing Drupal, and it comes this choice in Drupal also comes somewhat related to the values of the Digital Lab, the values of openness, diversity, collaboration, experimentation, and sustainability. So what is the counterpoint? What made us choose Drupal over WordPress when, I mean, re-implementing those sites after those situations of unreliability and security? The first, obviously, it was the security, right? Because we're not that trustworthy anymore in the WordPress tool. We wanted to try something different, and in our experience, we found that Drupal is a little bit more reliable in that sense. Some basic things that we found, like for example, we cannot install modules from inside Drupal. We had to have the access to the command line to actually install those modules. In contrast with WordPress, that we can install plugins from inside the thing. And also we found that Drupal is way more personalizable, which is something that we found really interesting at the time. We didn't know much about it, but then after developing on it, we found that it was crucial to the development of the department. So how was the development experience? Drupal has a very steep learning curve. It is something that is made for developers. I have to assume that. And well, at first we were not thinking many crazy things when developing on the platform. We wanted to do a simple website and work with it. We were not the ones that installed Drupal. The one that installed Drupal was actually a colleague from the faculty that also did not have any knowledge on Drupal before. So it was kind of messy. We had some problems with version and etc. But we figured that out. We had some problems with configuring the platform. That basic stuff, learning the UI, where is everything, where's the authorizations, where's the content, how do you create a basic page? All those things we had to learn from scratch. And then we had some situations with access and permissions that we found that it was kind of difficult to learn from the beginning, but then we developed better in this area, and we found that it's actually way better and way more secure to work with the access and permissions from Drupal, because we have a lot of people accessing, people that just want to post their works, and they are not supposed to do anything else on the website, so this came pretty handy. And talking now about the training of new users. The training of new users, we had a little bit of easiness on the adaptation. So we had the users working on WordPress before, and when we migrate to Drupal, we have pretty similar editing, text editing inputs. We can upload images. The only problem that I remember was the kind of the version control inside the Drupal, because this is not something that it is commonly used by the user in WordPress. It's kind of automatic, and then we have to always be remembering, type something and just type what you changed in the post and then put there. But otherwise, it was easier. Something that I want to talk about as well is the patronization of content. It's something that we didn't have on WordPress and we have on Drupal. There is, you can create a specific type of content, specific modes. The user is not going to go elsewhere with it. So if you have a blog post, you have an image, you have the text, you have the title, that's it. It's not going to change. It's not going to go elsewhere. That's fantastic when working with a lot of people as well. And we have the minimal computing as well. So before, we kind of allowed all the users to install plugins on WordPress, which was hella dangerous, really dangerous. And we had a lot of plugins that were just for, I don't know, modifying a little bit how you work on a page, a little bit of the text editor, something here, something there. So we had a lot of plugins that were not used by everybody, were used by just a single user. And now with Drupal, we can have the principles of minimal computing, that is only installing what we are going to use, only installing what is necessary, and keeping that to a minimum. Now, we're almost at the end, I promise. I'm going to talk a little bit about the interest points of setups as a research center. So the first interest point is experimenting. We wanted to experiment with the tool, learn more about it, learn more about it, and have this connection with the community. So another point of ours is also showing some interest in the tool, getting valuable information for those type of meetings, those conferences. Something that Ricardo said in the beginning of the presentation, the beginning of the conference, sorry. He said about the chatbot. That was incredible for new users. It's amazing, and I look forward to seeing it in the future on setups. We have 2 points on sustainability as well. First point is ecological sustainability. There's something that we are researching. There's something that I saw that Drupal has been taking care of lately, and we want to know what is the ecological mark that Drupal have. Not only Drupal, but all the tools that we have, and when installing plugins and themes and etc. And also the cultural sustainability. So as I said, we want to participate more on those kind of conferences, gather as much information, as much knowledge as we can, and and have we want to build websites that last. So if you want a website to last 10 years or more, we need to be active in the community. We need to learn about the technology, and we need to see what's going on. So at last, I have the example of application. This is the website that we built. It's the Digital Lab blog. You can access it via this URL. If you took interest in digital humanities, or you're just curious, you can access this website, look into the posts, see for yourself the work that we do, the projects that we have, and I hope that the digital humanities have made a mark here today. Thank you. I'm open to questions if you have any. Thank you. Yes? You have to do Drupal 10. No, we're using Drupal 11. Yeah. Until now, I I mean, I don't have the experience to tell the difference, right? But it's been pretty neat. The experience has been amazing. We have learned a lot of things about it, about the platform. So 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. Yeah. Thank you. So my team is me and me and Dr. Luciano, which is my professor. But his specialty is well data analysis with R and other stuff. So we kind of learned while doing it. So that would be amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? That's it. Thank you very much.